Building off the success of the very popular wired Razer Basilisk V3, which released earlier in September 2021, the new Razer Basilisk V3 Pro gets updated with wireless connectivity and an even faster sensor. If you already own or have used the previous wired model, you'll probably be very interested in trying this out. With its 11 programmable buttons, dual mode tilt wheel, and Razer's 3rd gen optical switches, this is Razer's best and fastest customizable wireless mouse, though it does have a few quirks. Aside from its higher $159.99 price point and its rather heavy weight of 112 grams, which may deter those who are on a tighter budget or those who prefer lighter options, many of the V3 Pro's new features unfortunately rely on additional hardware which is not included standard in the box. That said, those who are looking for a more well-rounded gaming mouse that can also double as a very solid everyday wireless option, the V3 Pro is just that. To start things off, the Basilisk V3 Pro features the Razer Focus Pro 30K optical sensor, which Razer calls the world's most precise optical sensor. Marketing jargon aside, the Focus Pro sensor provides 3 levels of lift-off customization, with 26 levels of height adjustment for gamers to program their mouse specifically to their unique playstyle. With smart tracking and motion sync, this optical sensor also maintains better control and greater accuracy on any surface, even when tracking on glass, so long as it's at least 4mm thick. While most users will probably still stick to their trusty mouse pads, for times when one isn't available, the mouse still works great. Unlike its predecessor, the Basilisk V3 Pro features the newest Razer optical mouse switches, which instead use infrared light to send signals without the need for mechanical contact. This results in an instant actuation of just 0.2 milliseconds, no unintended click registration, and the lowest latency of any other gaming mouse. Now that said, whether or not you'll actually be able to perceive this difference is another story. As you can probably tell, this is a right-handed mouse that's very ergonomic. The Basilisk V3 Pro is available in 2 colors, black or white. Both use a plastic chassis with a textured matte finish for its top, glossy accents for its buttons, and rubberized side panels for grip where your thumb and ring finger typically would lay. It also has a nice rounded thumb indent that makes the Basilisk V3 Pro easier to pick up, though this isn't really intended for that. For my medium-sized hands, the mouse feels very well shaped, though my partner with smaller hands finds that it's a little bit too big for her liking. The plastic casing seems very high quality and is effective at resisting shine, smudges, and fingerprints. For customization, we find 10 +1 programmable buttons, with that +1 being a profile button underneath the mouse that lets you cycle through up to 5 saved profiles. For its RGB lighting, there are 12 lighting zones, full underglow, and plenty of customizable options. Of course, no Razer mouse would be complete without featuring their trademark triple-headed snake, which also features its own RGB customization. However, as we quickly found out, you need to leave the Synapse app open in the background in order for your lighting custom effects to still play. If you close the program, the mouse will default back to its base RGB pattern or color. So while not a deal breaker, it's definitely unfortunate. Underneath, we find a switch to toggle between Bluetooth, off, or 2.4 GHz. You can also probably see there's this interesting circular cap that, when removed, reveals a set of pins as well as a hidden compartment that houses the USB receiver. On top, we find a left and right arrow to the side of the scroll wheel, which indicates its use as 2 separate directional buttons, in addition to the usual click-in that you normally find. The scroll wheel itself has 2 modes, a tactile cycling mode, which takes advantage of the rigid rubber design for precise rolls, and a free spin mode for high-speed scrolling. And within the Synapse app, users can enable a smart reel mode for their wheel, which allows it to automatically shift from tactile to free spin as they scroll faster. I tried out both tactile and free spin modes in a scroll wheel browser test, but prefer the regular tactile mode as it's a little bit more consistent. Understandably, one downside to having all these features in a wireless mouse is the increased size and weight that comes with it. Compared to much of the competition, it's quite a bit larger. It measures 5.11 inches long by 2.96 inches wide and 1.67 inches tall. To maintain that 90-hour battery life, the Basilisk V3 Pro contains an internal battery that sits just above the sensor in an assembly that also includes a slot for the scroll wheel's housing. Altogether, we found that this makes the mouse fairly front heavy, again with a weight of 112 grams, far heavier than the usual 70 to 80 gram max, which most enthusiasts try to stay under. While this isn't noticeable as you're sliding the mouse around, if you find yourself frequently lifting up the mouse, it definitely will be. Now, out of the box, the mouse boasts a polling rate of 1000 Hz, but to tap into that impressive 4000 capability, which a lot of its marketing pushes, you'll need to invest further in the Razer Hyper-Polling Wireless Dongle. Given that the mouse is already quite a bit more expensive than the competition at $160, it's disappointing to see that we now have to shell out even more money to unlock all these features. You would need to spend another $69.99 for the Mouse Dock Pro, which includes that transceiver, or you buy the dongle alone for $29.99. Again, adding all these expenses to the V3 Pro's already hefty price tag could be a deal breaker for some of those looking to make a more cost-conscious decision. Although it is worth noting that this mouse frequently goes on sale. For gamers who are already firmly on Team Razer, the Basilisk V3 Pro could be a great addition to their peripherals. One other benefit would be you could take advantage of Razer's hyperspeed multi-device support, which allows you to control all their compatible Razer keyboard and mice with a single dongle. So for those contemplating an upgrade between the Basilisk V3 or deciding between the two, it's essentially going to boil down to how much you value the Pro's wireless enhancements. Its excellent ergonomics, fast Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz connections, along with its remarkable 90-hour battery life, can certainly make it stand out, and it may be worth that extra premium. However, again, there's that elephant in the room, the additional $70 for a dock to unlock its 4K polling and its wireless charging. While it may sound impressive at first, the difference between 1000 to 4000 polling probably isn't that noticeable, if at all. And with its already incredible battery life, charging it every few weeks via USB-C is just fine. Together, we think you can skip over these add-ons and you'd be better off saving that extra cash. Again, if you're already invested in Razer's ecosystem or you want one of the most versatile wireless gaming mice in their lineup, the Basilisk V3 Pro is, again, indeed a little bit chunky, but it's also incredibly enjoyable to use. So thank you again for checking out this review of the Basilisk V3 Pro. Let us know your thoughts on this mouse in the comments down below. This has been Paul with MakeUseOf.com. Until the next one, we'll catch you later.